Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Yes, we have just had the announcement from Fabrizio Romano. Again, not confirmed from the club, but it says it's a done deal for Facundo Buonanotte. A bit of a hard name to say, but I wouldn't either. But I had to say his name to get the name out there. But yes, as you can see on this tweet here, Fabrizio's tweet to say that Leicester have signed Facundo Buonanotte on loan from Brighton. It is a loan deal, no option to buy. Sam, what's your thoughts on this? He is the position we've been looking for and asking for the last couple of weeks. His stats haven't proved himself, but again, can we complain when we've got a position that we have been asking for the last couple of weeks?
Obviously, Cooper's trademark is being good at signing these young players, bringing them in, and he knows what to look for. Is he good enough? It's hard to tell. Obviously, he's got that Premier League experience, but behind Golding, who we brought in, who's kind of on the same context, obviously, this Buonanotte person has played almost 30 games for Brighton last season. 3 goals and 1 assist, I believe, in the Premier League last year. So, unlike Golding, he has had that experience, and at 19 years old, I believe he's been in the Argentinian team, whether the 21s he's been playing for. And again, I think you've got to kind of trust Cooper. I mean, really, we both know that this guy is not the first guy, not the second guy, especially, not even the third guy we would have wanted it at the attacking midfielder role. We've seen Solly come in and rejectors. We've seen Cavalio.
2 eyebrows for us.
On. There was another one as well, which was linked to us, and then within the space of a few hours was gone to another club. So obviously, with the season starting, it's the 8th of August. It's 11 days really. We really need to start bringing in those players, and it's better than no one, but I do fear that it's not good enough potentially for us.
Maybe not good enough. As Kieran here says, Brighton fans seem to really rate him. Again, he is a youngster. He's Argentinian. I think the Argentinian part alone kind of makes you a bit more excited about the player, just because of where he's from. Again, the amount of players that have come from Argentina and done well.
About Tete,
no, I completely get it. I do get it, and like I say, I think
I'm not slating on him. Obviously, I've not seen him. I don't really know much about him.
You can't read into the stats because the stats doesn't prove anything really to say that he isn't a good player.
It's like you say. For me, there is worse options, and he's got the experience, and that's something that I am positive and I like about him. Is he's got just under 30 games under his belt already at Brighton, and unlike a lot of players, whether it's 15-20 minutes at the end of a game to finish the game off. Even in those times they've done that 27 times or he started, it's hard to not hate the guy when like I said, he's played almost 30 games in the Premier League for Brighton last year. That's almost that's out of the 40 games on in the season. He's made a lot of appearances. So
Locks here does say, and I think we spoke about this before we even went on the show, that he said it would be a great signing if it was one for the future, but he'll be only here for 9 months average signing. But you literally just said before we went live, it's probably the best thing we can do, because we don't want to buy a player out, buy him permanently, and then we get relegated next season, and then we have to fork out so much money for him.
I'm surprised we've not got as many loans. I mean, we don't have any loans in, do we, as of right now? Obviously, until Buonanotte comes in.
Yeah. But again, that's what we've been asking for. Again, I'd rather have an attacking midfielder that, yes, he might not be any option to buy, because Brighton obviously do rate him in some ways.
We're in this such, fine glass, one wrong step and it breaks kind of situation where we can't really afford to be forking out 30-40 million pounds for an attacking midfielder who is going to be with us if we get relegated. It's one of those situations where I am surprised we've not brought in more loan players, because we're in that good position. It's like, well, it's Leicester City. They've got a good training facility, so I thought we might be able to bring in a lot more players that are on the fringes. But again, it depends on the club's ambitions. For me, I would have liked to see quite a lot more loan players coming. One to be like, oh, that guy looks quite. Like when we paid for Golding, I thought we might see a couple more like him coming, but on loan. But this is seeming like the first one, and I am a bit concerned that it's typical Leicester fashion that Reedy were taking so long, 11 days before the Spurs game, that we're clearly still not ready for the league.
I'd say partly yes, partly no. Again, I think the transfers we have brought in, I think, have been decent. This guy, for me, if you think about the Sula one where we're trying to buy him for £30 million or 30 million euros, if you were going to say that, people were saying how highly rated he was. He was Argentinian as well. He obviously was playing in the lower league in the Italian leagues. And did he have the best of seasons? I don't think he did have the greatest seasons, but did he? Yeah. What was his stats like in the Serie B? Was it good? Because obviously
he didn't play Serie B.
Wasn't it Serie B?
He played at the team that Ockley was at.
Okay.
And
Frosinone,
I think he got around 20 goals and assists.
Okay.
So he had a good season and he warranted the decent price tag, but like you say, But then this
Buonanotte guy that I'm just going to show on screen now, he could do quite a good job. Again, what would you say is a good season for him? Would you say 10 to 15 goals and assists? Or would you say even less is a decent?
Well, at 19 lonely, I'd say around 10 goals and assists for the season would be a very good season for him. It's tough to judge on the fact that, like I say, he's a lone player, so he can do as good as bad. We've seen.
If he does bad, you can't really blame him because he's like literally online.
But I'm more concerned that he better not be like the only man, because we're going to have him and Golding, and it's a big risk to have two youngsters that who haven't really played many Premier League games. Obviously, like I said, 27. It's not bad. It's better than some things, and it's hard to judge. I think a lot of fans would have preferred someone with a little bit more experience, maybe a little bit more quality. So it's just tough, isn't it?
Just a side note as well, though. We have been playing players out of position away with Reeedy or Bobby Reed in that central attacking mid role. Now we've got this guy. Again, I feel that's a bit of an agenda against him, saying that he's never going to get the 10 or 15 goals and assists this season. But for me, it doesn't matter in a way how many goals he gets. It's more about how many he creates for our attacking three, because we haven't been scoring, have we, really? And if we have, it's been own goals and stuff. So what is your take on this guy before we do end off? Do you think he'll be a player we do need, or do you reckon it would be already where we slowly bring someone else in, like a Golding or a Reeedy in that role, because he's not good enough?
I don't like the fact. I don't want to risk him not being good enough and having to play with Reeedy at position of Golding, who's it's probably quite a big step up for him to be straight into first team Premier League football with a relegation team, nonetheless.
And I will mention as well, we might have Alves there as well, which again is another one where he's quite young.
Again, I don't care about Alves. People rave about him all the time. I don't see him. He gets injured a lot. I don't really care about what Alves is doing, because he's just injury prone a lot, and he's not really getting into that team because he's clearly not good enough, and like I say, injury prone. I would just go out and sign someone good enough. I would just go out and sign an attacking midfield at 15-20 million and just be like, here he is, here's your guy, here's good enough. We're taking so long, really. And like we said, this is 3 or 4 players of us just constantly swapping who's going to come in, because the club doesn't know. The club clearly can't incentivize these players to come in because they offer it, and the play again. It's a big factor of these players are going to be thinking Leicester. It's a lot of these players are probably offering the same money as Leicester are. Leicester in a points deduction. We're in a relegation season. Regardless of that, it's tough. Who really wants to join Leicester unless they're offering the big wages?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the reason we've been offering the big wages in the past is why we've been in the FFP situation, though. So I can only imagine that's why we're not offering it. So.
Trevor here says Solanke would fit as a striker. I think I think he's heading to somewhere else. I'm trying to think where. I think maybe Spurs. I think Spurs.
Yeah. Premier League last year.
I think Spurs is getting him.
Yeah, way too good for us.
There's a guy above here. Ruff says thoughts on Cavalier. So for me, before even the season ended, I was saying the fact of I think he would suit us perfectly. When he went to Hull, I thought he did well there. Yes, he might be a big price price mark for Liverpool, but we were paying like that nearly the amount what they want for Sula as well.
Yeah, that's the
so
argument, isn't it?
Why wouldn't we do it for him?
We're offering 30 million for Sula, but they're not. Then why don't you go sign? And they say 25 million. You probably could get him for more 20 if they wanted to sell him, because they said they knew between 20 to 25. And again, he's one of these that was like, he did well at Hull. Not amazing. I'm not going to sing and praise him. I think he did pretty good, but I didn't think he was like
amazing.
Their best player of the season. For 25 million again.
I think he's a better version of this Buonanotte. I will say that.
But again, he's not got the Premier League experience, and he's got a £20 million price tag. And you got to weigh up the options.
Yeah.
Someone who's
free basically with a few wages.
Championship done well, or 30 games in the Premier League and free for a season.
Other than paying the wages,
Not free. So, but even on loan, wages are usually 50-50.
Yeah, Scott here also says bring Perez back. I'd love to see him back, but he's not going to leave Betis now. He's doing well at Betis from what I've seen, so I don't think he'll ever leave there.
Spanish, didn't he?
Yeah, and then last comment of the day for the show is Antonio seems out of favour for West Ham. I'd take him.
Yeah, he's not.
I would take him, but he would not come. No, he's
a lot of
West Ham
Antonio, he's not. No offense to him, he's older than you think.
I'm a big fan of him as well.
I don't know, Vardy's like 37, but Antonio's 33, 34. He lives in London and he's got a high wage package. That's like the best way to say it. These players that have no affiliation with Leicester or anything, and like you say, outside of football,
they're not getting Reece at Mark Mile either.
He's going to stay in London.
Yeah, we're not going to get Reece either. Anything else before we do finish? We'll get one more here. Also, you've got to remember that offering silly wages with relegation clauses could be trouble. Exactly why we said that we would rather have somebody on loan, pay a bit of money towards it, and if we do get relegated, he'll just go back to he'll just go back to Brighton, and then he'll be happy again, I guess. And then last comment of the day says, are we getting the Argentinian gem from Brighton then? I don't know if you could call him a gem, but we are getting it looks like we're getting that Argentinian guy.
Again, the biggest thing I think we can all agree on is he's played those 27 games last season in the Premier League.
And obviously Brighton brought him in for a reason.
And if he wants, again, he's going to try and get into a team, and he probably knows that if he does well at Leicester, he'll go back to Brighton. He'll either make their team or he'll get sold on. And it's one of those things, we've seen it before, with season-long loans where players come in and they do absolutely amazing. I mean, Callum Doyle was on the road to do that before his injury. We were thinking, he's a pretty good, solid player in that position, but he got injured. And we've seen it before, with loan players come in where, like, they're good players. They're obviously playing for a decent move.
But just thinking about it, people were saying about how this Buonanotte guy's got these not good enough stats. He's 19. Yeah. He's literally the same age as Golding.
But again, that's where the risk comes into. He doesn't have the experience. Is he experienced enough for us especially a relegation battle? Again, he's got to be brilliant. We've got to trust Cooper in the fact that this is what his speciality is. If you had to say what his one trademark speciality is getting young footballers working. He knows which ones are good. He knows how to pick them out, and he knows which ones will help the team. And if he thinks this guy's good enough, then great. I guess I'm going to always come back to the argument of he's not the first man we wanted. So,
yeah,
is it really the
main man we wanted was Sula, wasn't it?
And a bunch of other players. But we'll see. Obviously, like I said, Fabrizio has tweeted that we have virtually signed him again. I mean, really, before we end this video, I am just going to pull it to you. What would you say this window's been out of 10 so far, considering the season starts in 11 days? With the signing of Buonanotte, we've got a screen to the right. I keep looking to see his name because I can't pronounce it. So
Buonanotte.
Very Italian there, reading.
I know, right? Even though it's Argentinian. For me, the signings we've made and the players that I think are a good backup or even starters, I'd probably say around a 7 or 8. Really? I think with 1 or 2 more additions, hopefully, I think it could be about a 9. I don't think he'll ever get a 10 because we wanted to, if we were to get, like, say, Carvalho, we were to get a few more players that you would say are quality in the Premier League for me already. Obviously, I know Carvalho isn't, but you can see the potential there. At the moment, we've bought players that are like average to decent in the Premier League at the moment, like Bobby Reed or a few other players like that. So yeah, I think most people agree with me as well, saying it's like 6 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah, obviously get your guys' views in. Locked here saying a 6.5 out of 10. Kian is saying still need a number 10 striker, another central midfielder. Yeah, I probably would agree. Scott Blankley 4 out of 10. Lee 7 out of 10. Ren is giving it a 7 out of 10, and Kian is.
I think they're about the same. Again, there would be a few things where you'd say like Matt Golding, if he doesn't prove himself this season, then maybe that was a bit of a bunker signing because he just came with the fact that Dewsbury left.
Well, for me, I'm giving it 5 out of 10 so far, and that for me is purely based on the fact that I like the signings we've brought in. I think some of them, like Bobby Reed, they've got the experience behind them. Ockley, tall defender. I like those facts.
Yeah.
I am more concerned, and I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. The fact that we haven't signed anyone that we actually needed to replace. We knew we needed a striker. We knew we needed a central attacking midfielder. We sold Kieran and Dewsbury. And who have we signed to replace Iheanacho, and who have we signed to replace Dewsbury? Absolutely no one right now. And that, for me, that's a big concern when your two biggest spots. Because we knew we had Mavididi, we knew Fatu was signing, Bobby Reed came in great. We got wings, and Diddy signed. The midfield. They
bought extra players in, but no one really actually needed.
The midfielder is so great, and it's compact and it's tight, and we've got a good system to work around. And the defense the same: Cody, Vestergaard, Ockley, Fies, Justin, Christiansen, Pereira. We've got so many defenders. There's probably more, Nelson even. And again, for me, I just think when you look at that, the strike force in literally the strikers and the attacking midfielders, the two weakest positions, we've physically not improved. We've not gone out to improve. And I think, like you said, we've seen all these rumours, and whether it's because we can't put anyone in, who knows? But for me, we're 11 days before the season, and that's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 10, because I think the two weakest points in our team, two weakest points from last season. I mean, obviously, with Dewsbury in, he did step up. And that's why he's gone to Chelsea, because they thought it was good enough, and obviously I'm sure Maresca's influenced that move as well. But we've just not replaced that this season, and we're in for a tough season. And if we don't have enough attacking threat going up front,
yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm giving it 5 out of 10. It will obviously change if we brought in this guy. 6 out of 10.
All right, last question, the last comment of the day. Trevor says Scott British against Spurs. We'll be doing a show next week for Tactics Talk to preview the Spurs games. Make sure you check that out next week.
Yeah, and obviously check us out on Patreon. We do exclusive content. We've been picking up for the past couple of weeks. All of us are on there. Nothing changes. You still get your free shows, but if you want exclusive shows of ex-players, Blue Bandman, Ian Marshall, and we'll be doing our weekly podcast as well. And we do exclusive talks like pretty much everything extra. Obviously, Reedy's about to play this video, which explains a lot. But even if you just want to support us for the free content, we do be greatly appreciated if you could go and subscribe to our £3 membership a month. That would help us out a lot, and to keep us doing all this free content for you guys.
Cheers.
For exclusive extra shows, behind the scenes, competitions and podcasts, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV today on Patreon.